right, welcome to a new episode of Real Business Roundtable. Today we're going to talk about why it's important to advertise when you're busy
rather than when you're not.
When you're not busy. So sometimes small business owners will go, yeah, I'm busy. I have all the business I need. I don't need to advertise. That is mistake number one that businesses make all the time. When business dries up or slows down, or when you run your business on fate, right? When you run your business on hopes and dreams and, my business runs on word of mouth, you're going to have what's called hills and valleys. You're going to have gaps. When you're really at a high and you're real cocky and you don't want to do anything to improve your sales, that's when you have the cash to prepare or ensure that you'll have a steady flow.
Also, when you run advertising too, it's not just about, a big portion of advertising is about visibility, right?
Yes.
So absolutely. When you're really busy,
or I should say 100%.
Naturally, you're having a lot of visibility. If you're running ads or not, when you're really busy, let's say we use this as an example all the time, a contractor, right?
Yeah.
You're doing a job at a bunch of places. You're going to have signs out there. You're busy. The word is getting around. So adding advertising on top of that is going to be even more growth than if you were to just do advertising. You get what I'm saying? Also, I'm trying to position it so it's not just about money. Cash is really important when it comes to advertising. You got to have money to continue to grow, and you want to always grow. So when you're busy, it's good to do that. But also when you're busy, a lot of people have your product, talking about your product. A lot of people are eating your food and talking about that food. Maybe you're not running advertising and you're really busy, but people are still talking about the product, service, food, whatever it may be. So running advertising at the time that you're really busy, it just adds on to that visibility. It adds on to that traffic. It adds on to that growth.
It's an insurance policy to ensure that you don't have the traditional hills and valleys, the gaps of slow work. When a business owner says, I'm a little slow, it dried up, and then you lift under the hood, you dig a little bit deeper, you find out they're not doing anything proactive to bring in new business. It could be a sales team. It could be running Facebook ads. It could be Google ads. It could be hiring an outbound call center, whatever. You have to always make that effort and have that permanent initiative for business development. Now, there's a small caveat. If you're in a business that requires you to have a certain amount of labor force, and let's say you're having labor force issues, you need to cut your advertising costs or advertising investment in half, take the other half or 30% of it, and invest that advertising towards recruiting. So take a piece of that budget and invest in something that's going to allow you to facilitate. But there's no excuse. There's no reason. And I'm not going to sit there and argue with a business owner that gives me that line of bullshit that they're really busy, they don't need to do anything. I'll just be like, okay, hey, I'll check with you in a few, see how things are going. Maybe it might dawn on them, but the one thing, we interact with hundreds of businesses. So we have something that not many small business owners have at their fingertips, is that access to hundreds of case studies. And you see trends. When we see trends and a repeat of something over and over again, I'll tell you right now, 98% of everybody that runs their business on fate, running your business on fate, is just not doing anything proactive. You're going to see hills and valleys. And when you hit that valley, no animated birds. When you hit the valley, right? Business isn't coming in, and then you're at a point when you're like, oh shit, I have to advertise now. Now you're limited. Now you have very limited resources to bring in that business. It should be set. It should be based on 10% of your top line revenue, and you run it for the whole year.
Well, no, yeah. So I think everyone should take away from what we're talking about from every episode that we've talked about this is that from the inception of your business, you should always start running, digital marketing. You should always start marketing right from the beginning and always keep it at 10%. Let's say the first year you do $1 million, 10%. The second year you do $2 million, it's 10% of that. Third year, 10%. I think it should be a consistent growth within your business. It should always stay at a certain amount so that you don't get those whatever.
Yeah.
Some
of the biggest success stories in the business world have invested 10 to 30% of their top line revenue.
Yeah.
And the guys that invested 30 are some of the biggest success stories that I've ever seen, especially here in New England. There's a huge furniture store that you see all of their ads everywhere. I knew somebody that knew the owner, and they were like, yeah, he's firm on 30% of top line. I'm like, wow. But that's what made him blow up.
So my question is, this may be a little bit off topic, and I feel like I kind of answered it myself, but it's a good question for people listening. At what point do you cut off a little bit of that advertising? At what point is it a personal goal? Is it something within the business? Like what point?
You can slow down business development efforts and advertising efforts if you are completely overwhelmed and the amount of incoming inquiries or opportunities can't be managed or followed up with.
But don't stop it. Don't cold turkey stop any marketing. Slow it down. You should always have it, like I said before, always keep it continuous. I feel like that also, like I said, I kind of answered my own question. It's kind of a personal goal. Let's say you're starting up a business to, get acquired. You never stop the marketing.
No.
You just keep going 30% all the way. Make it as much revenue as possible so that when you sell, you sell at a really good price.
Because if you're looking to sell, the people that acquire your company are going to look at consistency, EBITDA. They're going to look at how much net profit you have at the end of the year, all that stuff. So you need to make sure, and they're going to look at revenue. Revenue is a big piece. And how long have you been at that revenue number, and are you growing or are you dropping? We're trying to help small business owners know the importance of consistently promoting their business regardless of how busy you are, but do it in a calculated fashion. So if you have that excuse of your labor force, put some of that towards recruiting, but you need to set aside 10%. Doesn't mean 10% of the whole thing right up front. If your monthly sales are $100,000, $10,000 goes towards the consistent boost in visibility to create more opportunities for your company. End of story. If you're doing under 10% and you're not growing at a rate that you would like, there's your issue. If you're a small business owner, I can understand if you've been doing things a certain way. We wanted to create this episode just to create a little bit of education, a little bit of insight on why you shouldn't rely on being busy or not being busy to decide whether or not you should advertise. It should always be consistent and always use best practices regardless. The only time you reduce, just like driving a vehicle, your foot's on the gas pedal, just pull off a little bit, lower a gear. I did the paddles, just like lower a gear. I did the paddles.
No, but also I just wanted to mention too, in one of the last episodes, we talked about how to maintain this growth, right? We talk about like maintaining growth and how to, right? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's going to be either manufacturing, inventory, or the staff to fulfill the client's needs.
Yeah.
If you're busy, advertise. If you're slow, advertise. But advertise preferably first when you're busy so you have the cash to invest into a steady program to keep eyeballs on your business, creating more opportunities for you to grow and reach your goals. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, you can shoot us a DM at Real Business Roundtable on Instagram.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, share, and check us out on Instagram, where you can find clips and updates and info. Peace out.